This is things you might not have heard, and we're going to present for you the tops per you of the weekend's stories of also information, plus politics, current events, and pop culture. We're your go-to source for supplemental news, both mainstream and some unconventional things that get missed out in the mainstream. And trust me, a lot of mainstream missed over the weekend with what happened, what went down. I'm Jay Cleveland Payne, and that's the teaser graphic shows. We're talking about Yevgeny Prigozhin. I practiced that 4 or 5 times, and now I can't say it. The guy, Putin's chef, who was almost a hero of the war over the weekend and then sort of fizzled out pretty quickly. All weekend, we talked nothing about the coup in Russia, or more or less coup, and we're going to talk about that here today, plus 9 other stories that caught your attention in between all the Russia talk. So we have that coming for you here. We'll explain the vetting process and how you get a chance to be a part of the show by telling us what to talk about. And we ask you to go to our website. This is a conversationproject.com for more information about the website, the project, the things we do, and the feeds going on if you get a little antsy. Let's get into the stories that we're reporting for this morning. This morning happens to be Monday, the 26th of June, 2023. And what we have for you starting off is our first story, which goes like this. Gröna Lund roller coaster accident in Sweden leaves 1 dead. The roller coaster accident at an amusement park in Sweden has killed 1 person and injured at least 9. 3 of the injuries were believed to be severely wounded and receiving treatments at the nearby hospital at the time. Gröna Lund, Sweden's largest amusement park, will be closed for a week while police carry on the investigation. Those who have already bought tickets will have their money refunded immediately to take care of the time, making sure that everyone is safe from there. Another train derailment, this time an actual train derailment. Headline: train derailment on Montana's bridge sends multiple rail cars into Yellowstone River. As if Yellowstone does not have enough issues right now, a train falls into the river because of a bridge collapse. Multiple cars go in there. And now what was in the cars, it's not here in this article, it's right up, but molten sulfur, molten rock, essentially things being used for building. The sulfite stuff did not get into the water, so there should not be any issues with the water. However, officials have asked that people do conserve their water just in case things go down. The investigation for this is going down as well. Now, the big story, the literally big story that overtook everything of the weekend. And this story, this headline, I will admit, is dated because this is from one of the earlier bits. We posted 5 different links going from Saturday to Sunday on this one, and one coming up in an hour or so. So look out for that. What we're talking about is the original source one we have. Wagner leader calls for rebellion against Russian defense chief. Kremlin orders his arrest. So somewhere early our time in our news coverage, or late-ish in the day for late Saturday there in Russia, Yevgeny Prigozhin, which is totally butchered, Prigozhin, posted an angry video and audio saying that, Russia's kind of sucks and we're going to just take this bad boy over. And they left their post in Ukraine as they were on the front lines and went to a post at the south end of Russia, which was essentially the hub of the battle, all the operations, and took it over with no resistance. Pretty much the Russians were like, cool. And they took it over. And then there were videos of him basically screaming and yelling at the Russian officials there because, he's in charge now. And then he started rolling up close to Moscow. And that's when things got a little different. So Putin gave out a little speech that's basically said, you guys are traitors, yada yada, kill them all, you're under arrest. And they kept rolling towards Moscow until Prigozhin decided that he was just going to call it quits, moved to Belarus, and just said all his troops are going to now be Russian soldiers, which is what's going on there. We will come back to Mr. Prigozhin in a bit. He is coming forward, if you will, for what we're talking about going forward. But this was the headline that basically took over every single national newscast over the weekend. There was a little talk about Donald Trump. There was a little talk about infrastructure. A little talk about those train derailments that were kind of important to talk about over the weekend because everything was all about, including breaking up the shows that were the tape shows and sort of the piece shows, whatever. Everything was about the Russian coup attempt, which may have not been a coup attempt, and no one really knows for sure why it happened and how it happened. What happened? Well, Putin's still in charge, we guess. But the way that this thing happened, the way this was allowed to happen, puts a lot of question marks into how long Putin will be in charge and how the war in Ukraine is actually going. Although from the Western point of view, from our point of view, it seems to be going okay for the Ukrainians. Not great, but okay. Let's move on to the next story. Hackers leak over 100,000 ChatGPT credentials on the dark web. This one should freak you out a little bit. If you're like me and have been sort of leaning on a lot of ChatGPT and those types of forums lately, OpenAI's ChatGPT artificial intelligence chatbots were compromised, and over 100,000 login credentials were leaked in 2022. So this has been out there for a while, but the report is now being called out by a group called Group IB. The malware collected hot login credentials, history, and cookies saved in web browsers. This is a big reason to make sure you have some sort of browser protection on your computer, some sort of still virus protection, malware protection, even though it seems like it's non-linear because everything's in the web. Some sort of something to keep things from being logged from your thing. It doesn't have to be anything expensive. It could be the free AVG stuff. It could be something a bit more locked down. But this is something that could be an issue for people who were using the ChatGPT, the AI bots, back in 2022 when this big hack happened. Next story for the morning. Bulls expect Lonzo Ball to miss another season because of left knee injury. Now, the next bunch of stories, I'm going to admit, are kind of stories. We do give you the choice to pick the stories as well. As we say, we'll go deeper into it, but you chose the stories. We picked the top 30 stories of the weekend and pulled 10 of them. And these are stories, some of them just ironically we've been covering just because they popped up for some reason. And we're back to Lonzo Ball. You folks care about Lonzo Ball, or maybe you care about the Bulls. Lonzo Ball probably not playing again. Now, we had a story a few weeks ago saying that his knee surgery was going down and that chances are he was done playing basketball. Bulls said, oh, he'll be back. Bulls officially say he probably won't be back. He hasn't played since 2022, by the way, January 2022. Had a cartilage transplant in March, not just surgery, a transplant. And it's his third operation on his knee and is little more than a year. So the legacy of the Balls, sorry, LeVar, may not be all that much of a legacy going forward, as Lonzo not coming back supposedly for this season. Coming back many seasons, Harrison Ford. He's saying he has no plans to retire now that he's reached the age of 80. He doesn't plan on retiring anytime soon, says he feels useful. He gets a thrill out of being helpful and being of service. He will do more production stuff and probably do less of the scenes where he has to throw himself against walls and off of trains. But he likes to do these things. In fact, he doesn't so much play just the heroic types, do heroic things. Pardon me for that. Remember, he's also coming up in the next Marvel movie, and he's not well, he is actually playing a superpowered person, but thanks to CGI, he's going to play the role of Red Hulk. If you're down with that, he's taking over the role of General Thunderbolt Ross and incarnating the Red Hulk character that was in the movies or in the comics, where Ross turned himself into a Hulk-like creature to battle the Hulk. You will see that come down in a few months. I believe that one's not too far away. Oh yeah, that's Secret New World Order, new Captain America movie, which is technically a Hulk sequel, I guess. Now, another story that really we kind of could have chose many other things, so it's not very much, is Kendra Wilkinson. Kendra Wilkinson. She came up because her birthday came up a few weeks ago, and we noted with a bit of snark that she's famous because she publicly told folks she slept with a really old dude and two other women. Part of the menage a quad with Hugh Hefner and his girlfriends and his stuff going on there. Then she left and he got another batch of girlfriends, and then she married Hank Baskett, who was kind of a mid-level football star, and then she got divorced. And so now the headline, sadly enough, making her relevant, OK Magazine, is Kendra Wilkinson admits divorce and loss of TV show caused depression. She's basically saying that having nothing to live for because she had no identity. If she was known, she got herself out of a pretty bad situation, going back in her story, and got into Playboy and gotten to be with Hugh Hefner, got a platform where they put her on TV because she was cute and pretty, and then she married some guy and stayed with cute and pretty, so they took the show to them. And then she got divorced and lost the TV show because there was no substance to her, and that meant a lot to her. She went through some pretty stuff. Now, the depression stuff, that's the serious nature of the actual story. The fact that we're bringing her up because she's kind of not even a D-level celebrity is sort of the point of why we're doing this. These are conversational points that you deem that are interesting, and we pull them from you, and we try to make the best narrative. Sometimes they're not the greatest story. Sometimes they're not even the most interesting story. This one isn't the most interesting, but it is one that brings to light how we choose the stories and pull these up. Literally, all it says is that her kids have been her purpose for the last couple of years, getting her out of her funk, and then she's doing better. And we're glad for that. But as we said, when her birthday came up, we're not sure why we care, because her actual contributions to the world in entertainment or whatever, a little bit lacking. Here's some folks that contribute a lot to love and stuff, and also this weekend contribute a lot to a bit of freakiness and conspiracy theory. Adele polls Las Vegas concert audience after Titan sub tragedy. Yes, Adele asked the audience their views on traveling to the bottom of the ocean to visit the Titanic wreckage, and said that she had been debating with her friends about the views on the ticket voyage to basically, do all this stuff in group chats. They've been chatting, maybe we should go down and check out the Titanic. And she asked the audience, many people, how they feel about what was going on. Comments on the Titanic tragedy come as a Las Vegas financier, Jay Bloom, shared that he and his Titanic-loving son, Sean Bloom, declined a bucket list trip to the bottom of the ocean with this one. So there's a lot going on. There's some sort of connection to this, because many people with a lot of money and, the will to do things that other people don't seem to want to do is interesting. So we threw that out there. This was one that had a bit more bite than Kendra Wilkinson. And this next one is just straight up funny. Harry Styles tells fans there's no shame after she sold feet pictures for her concert ticket. We're going to keep this very light, very quick, because we're hitting our time limit. But yes, Harry Styles fans are truly obsessed with him. One, Naomi sold photos of her feet so she could get a ticket to her concert. And Harry Styles is like, freaking awesome. You go, girl. Ain't no shame in selling them feet pictures to come see Mr. Harry. There you go. Finally, another artist dealing with a lot of money and doing it on the business side, although there's some, controversy on this. Rihanna steps down as chief executive at her Savage X Fenty lingerie brand. I'm pretty sure the X isn't supposed to be said there, but I don't buy Savage X Fenty, so it's not about me. It's basically she's leaving the Fenty Savage X lingerie brand, stepping away from her lingerie brand Savage X Fenty, and has named Hillary Super as her new CEO. Yay, Hillary. Rihanna has named Hillary Super as CEO. She's focused on taking the business to a higher level. That's the new CEO, although Rihanna's still, of course, attached to it, but she built it up to part of her portfolio. She's a billionaire via her business ventures, and I think between the makeup and the lingerie together, that's what happens. Now, what also turned into a bit of a controversy this weekend was the people who were shouting her down, because Rihanna technically isn't the CEO of her brand, and it's not a black-owned brand. Essentially, a lot of these things are more or less collaborations, a lot like franchising, if you will, where the name is put up and people do all the work. Not saying that she's not doing the work, but a lot of people are saying that she wasn't really that she was basically the face, not really the business side of what was going on for the Fenty brands, all the brands. You can argue that all you want to. All I know is that she's doing great. She's making billions. She is, even if she's the face of corporations, she's showing people what can be done. Now, odds of doing that still very high, but if you don't give it a shot, you can't make it out there. Let's go to our teaser story for the day, which is a story we were posting today that we will tease now that we can talk about later on if you choose this to be conversational. Okay, that is done by going to our feeds on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook.com/This Is a Conversation Project and Twitter.com/th_conversation. When you go to those websites and those feeds for us, you simply like, love, hate, share, engage in stories. The more you engage in a story, excuse me. Yes, live video. There we go. Took that sip to take out of that gas. It came anyway. Yes, I need to find my cough button. So anyway, go to the Facebook feed and the Twitter feed and engage in the story. And the higher you engage in the story, the more chance we'll have to chat about it. We will take the top 8 stories, or top 15 stories tomorrow. Choose 8 of the stories for your presentation. Today, we took top 30 stories. We presented 10 to you. Will we talk about Yevgeny Prigozhin one more time, because the Wagner Group leader is still facing charges, says Russia. So part of this deal to leave was essentially they say, oh, we'll drop the charges. You just go and do what you're doing. Now they're saying, no, he still has to face some arrest stuff. And what is believed, and we'll go deeper in this tomorrow if you want to chat it up, is that this is Putin's little playing card to remind Yevgeny to just, you still have to play nice or we'll come and jail you. Is this worthy of chat with you guys tomorrow? You let me know. Just go to our feeds on Facebook and Twitter and engage in this story as it comes down the feed. I'm not sure where it is. I think it posted about 20 minutes before we went on, to be honest. I think this one's already out there. So go back and find it. But when you go into your feeds on Facebook and Twitter, look for what we have there and engage and tell us what to talk about, because that tells us what we're talking about. You don't have a choice in the sponsor, because we pick the sponsors based on who likes us and who we think can do good for you. YouTube TV is a great sponsor because it's exactly the TV that I do. And we do need to update the graphic because they have more channels. But what they do is allow you to cut the cord big time. You can get up to 6 different profiles with your YouTube TV, and you can watch TV at up to 3 different people at a time, 3 different profiles going on. You can watch it on your computer. You can watch it on your smartphone. You can watch it on your smart TV. You can have multiple shots. They're doing a lot of innovation. We've had a lot of YouTube TV stories popped in here, just mostly for filling the gaps of time. And they're doing a lot of innovation, a lot of things going on because they're raising the price, and they have to kind of, verify that. You make sure that's worth the price that you're paying for it now. Check it out. Get a month free and use my link to do that. Go to thisisaconversationproject.com/YouTube TV. This is theconversationproject.com/YouTube TV. Say it slower so people can understand you. This is theconversationproject.com/YouTube TV. Check them out. They are doing pretty good stuff. I used them to cut the cord a long time ago. I may not be happy with the price changes, but the service that they're offering are great. Take this, compare it to the other guys, and I'm telling you, for all of them kind of suck. This one basically sucks a little less. Not exactly glowing advertisement, but it is what it is. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this today. But first, let's talk about the Conversation Project. We're going to fall over choking and dying. The Conversation Project is this thing here, or a part of this thing here. We're providing for you things you might have heard, a weekday morning newscast of the latest things from the past day or weekend to get you started on your day. We also provide weekend wrap-ups, literally something called the Weekend Wrap-Up, which is that's top stories of the week, and a bit of extra commentary called Story of the Week. We talked about the Moms for Liberty this past weekend. You can check that out as well. We offer other things along the lines of More Better Media. That's my larger group for managing this stuff. But we are really, really proud of this project here. We've been doing it for quite some time in various different ways, and it survives. That's one thing it does. You can help us survive by visiting our sponsors, because that helps pay for stuff around here. You can also go and directly partner up with us by going to our partnerships page at our website. This is theconversationproject.com/partnerships. There are ways for you to connect with us via various different ways. We do not turn down money here for the conversation or for More Better Media. So we want to make sure you know that. But we want to make sure you know that we are doing this not because everybody on the internet begs for money, but because everyone on the internet is doing what they can to add to the conversations, pun intended, add to the platforms, add their voice out there. And while technology allows everyone to do it at a better level, which is great, there's a lot of noise, a lot of fighting, a lot of stuff to do stuff, and it still takes efforts and resources to do that. I still need to get those people I want working on a more regular basis full time. So I need to add more folks. I need to pay them properly. Be honest. So if you think what we're providing for you is great in the way of what we're doing, we could use some support. You can do a monthly subscription. You can do a one-off thing. We can use support. The most important thing that you can all do, everyone can do, is make sure you're sharing this with people, because we do get a bit going on for getting more eyeballs, more earballs, Of course, more people engaging in the conversation. So that is awesome. We need more people engaging. So share the podcast, share the video, share the website, share those things. But if you think that you have it in you to help us go one step further, consider partnering with us. Okay, so I've begged, I've pleaded, I'll borrow if I need to. Now it is time for me to have a little fun with y'all. It is the fun part. Let's do that right here. Starting off with the reason why Kendra Wilkinson is, even relevant, because she had a birthday and we pulled her up here. Birthdays for today, though, it's not Kendra Wilkinson. June 26 birthdays, we've got birthday triplets. Oh, yeah, baby. Sean Hayes, 53 years old, known a lot from Will and Grace and some Broadway stuff. Pretty good actor, if you will. Chris O'Donnell, known for playing Robin and some other stuff. Pretty good actor, if you will. And Nick Offerman, known for being one of the baddest asses on TV and just a general funny and nice guy, apparently. Pretty awesome actor, if you will. All three of these men, manly men, if you will, maybe Sean Hayes, maybe a little less, but who knows, 53 years old on this day, June the 26th. Let's go to our history lesson. So June 26, 2023 is today. Let's go back almost 50 years to 1974, where the Universal Product Code, the barcode, if you will, was scanned for the first time to sell a package of Wrigley chewing gum at a supermarket in Troy, Ohio. Realizing the significance of the event, the buyer returned the item. What? He bought it, thought it was historic, and decided, you know what? I need you to take this back because it's history. The 10-pack of Wrigley Juicy Fruit is now on display in the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. People. 1977, Elvis Presley closed his concert at Market Square Garden in Indianapolis, not Madison Square Garden in New York, with Can't Help Falling in Love with You. It was his last concert. He died 7 weeks later. And in 1990, President G.H.W. Bush, who had campaigned for office on the pledge of no new taxes, conceded that tax increases would have to be included in any deficit reduction package. So if they wanted to lower the deficit, they had to do the responsible thing and raise the taxes. This basically cost him the election and got us Bill Clinton, and now you see where we are today, for good or for ill. Today is June 26th. We said that about 400 times today. Today happens to be on the calendar of days that you didn't know existed, is Forgiveness Day. And for whatever reason, all that's in my head is The Heart of the Matter by Don Henley. And I can't remember if it's Don Henley's song on a solo or if it's an Eagles song, but because, it's forgiveness. Even though there's plenty of other people, even lots of Christian singers with great songs on forgiveness, which actually means something, I'm not sure Heart of Matter actually fits. But today is a day for forgiving. Or if you're going to choose like I do, I'm probably just going to rent Unforgiven and watch that 3 or 4 times and just go on with that one, because I think that's more along the lines of how I'm feeling today. But if you're up for forgiveness, which you probably should be, today is a good day to do it. Figure it out. I don't know. That's not me today. And one more thing you might not have heard. Americans still do not take all their vacation time each year. According to the most recent data in 2019, Americans take an average of 18.1 vacation days annually. That's down a few days from about 20 years ago in 2000. Last year, 2022, more than half Americans, that's 55%, left vacation days unused. This guy here. So far in 2023, 46% of workers said they take less time off than offered. So why aren't Americans taking all their vacation time? According to the project Time of Study, 95% of people surveyed claim they're using their paid time off. Claim that using their paid time off was very important. However, some possible reasons for not taking vacation time includes feeling overwhelmed at work, worrying about losing their job if they take too much time away, or not feeling like they need to take more time off. That was a little long, so we're just going to get out of here on this one. Today is still, as I say these words, June the 26th, 2023. Whether you're watching this live, wrapping things up, and I want to thank the guys that popped into the live and popped in a bunch of chats today. We have Cristiano Bolivar Hermosia. Thank you so much. Josh Roman, my main man, my boy Josh, thank you for popping in. And anyone else who popped in to view while things are going on, thank you so much for being here with us on the day and dealing with my little mini stroke apparently on the air today. Whether you're watching this in the future on video or listening in the future on your ears, we thank you so much for being a part of what we're doing here. It takes a lot to make this thing happen, as you can see. It's not just, pulling random things off the internet and reading them. It takes a little bit of effort, a little research, a little working through, put the production value there to make this work out. And it makes it so glad when people pop in so we can do that. So thank you so much for that. We want to remind you to go to our feeds on Facebook and Twitter, Facebook.com/This is a Conversation Project, and Twitter.com/th_conversation. So you can tell us what to talk about for tomorrow. Are we talking about more Russian coup? Or hopefully this thing will turn into less of a 24-hour thing. Although right now it's all over things, including the market coverage. Things for the stock market things is all about the reaction to the coup and non-coup over the weekend. Oh, since I did that, stay hydrated like I'm doing. Stay limber and stay on task for all the grand things you are here to do in this world. Yeah. Let's call it a day for the day. We will do what we can to do what we can. But in the meantime, assume the best. Assume we'll be here tomorrow, because that's our plan, to give you 8 stories tomorrow morning. 8 stories, top stories from the top from today. And you'll know, maybe find a couple things you might not have heard.